Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How you doing today? Today is a beautiful day here in South Carolina, and I want to welcome you to my channel. Today is Monday, the Monday after Halloween, so maybe it's the 2nd or 3rd, 2nd of November, and it's gorgeous. The sun is shining, and the weather is comfortable. Just under 70 degrees, I think. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. My channel is a crochet and travel channel, and we have traveled now to South Carolina, and we're spending a month here. During that month, there's a lot of crocheting that I wanted to get done. I am currently working on my luck of the draw. I started a sweater, so I have some things to show you. And so if you are a returning subscriber, you'll have seen some of this, but most of this is all new. If you're new, thanks for stopping in. I hope you come back again and again, and all of this will be new for you. So this morning, I've been working on my luck of the draw, and I've been doing the cabin colors of Boggy Creek, which are red, yellow, green, and blue. And then I threw in a cream. Well, if you know anything about Luck of the Draw, which is hosted by Trisha, Mama Swift, the Boggy style Luck of the Draw is 10 instead of 20 weeks, and you use 5 colors plus a base instead of 8 colors plus a base. Well, the last one I did not use. I wanted to do the cabin colors for Boggy Creek, which is a camp in Florida for chronically ill children that we donate blankets to, because all the kids get to leave camp with a handmade knitted or crocheted blanket. So with that being said, the last time we did Luck of the Draw Boggy style, I did not use a base color. I just used 5 colors: red, red, green, yellow, blue, and then I used cream, because you need 5 colors for Luck of the Draw, plus a base if you're going to use it. And I have been looking for a color to use, a variegated, to go with those colors. And it's a lot of variegateds are like single color oriented, you know, like shades of red, shades of black, gray, you know, shades of brown, or they're maybe speckled, or there are a lot of pastels. But I have been looking, and I have not found anything that's like your 8 crayons in a box colors. The colors that I'm using for Boggy are just like bold crayons in a box. Cream instead of white, because I wanted to use cream instead of white. And so like my regular colors are, you know, your crayons in a box colors. Here's the blue, because these are the colors that they use on the signage for the different, you know, there's 4 cabins of each color at Boggy Creek. So you're in the yellow cabins, you're in the blue cabins. Maybe all the kids in the blue cabins are allergic to milk, and so they are all put in the blue cabins so that at dinner, you know, during mealtime, all the kids with milk allergies sit together. They eat the same food. You know, so there's no milk on the table, there's no milk in their cabins, there's, you know what I mean? So they arrange by different colors to help them. And I've been just struggling. Well, one of my subscribers said that Hobby Lobby has this color of yarn that might work for you in their Prince yarns. So I said, oh, I'm going to go check that out. And so Roy and I put it in the GPS, and we ended up at Michael's. And you guys, I have never seen in years, I have not seen so much yarn in one store that was not a yarn store, like a local yarn shop, but just so much yarn in one store. It's crazy. I was just shocked. There was not an empty shelf. There were yarns in the hallway, aisleways, yarn on top, like every shelf. They had think 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 aisles plus a wall plus end caps plus like a little kiosk in the center. I did take video, and I'm gonna insert it here, and you guys can see how much yarn they had. It's like 5 minutes, and I tried to take the music out, and you could still hear my voice. I couldn't. That's not working. So it's gonna be no music from the store, but you won't hear me talking either. But you can look at the yarns. And it is, you can fast forward through it if you don't want to see it. I mean, that's fine with me. I don't care. But I just kept saying, oh, look, there's, you know, there's loops and threads, there's big twists, there's Karen, there's sock yarn, there's, you know, and look, it's up there. It's over here. It's over there. It was fun for me. So I'm going to insert that here. And then I'll be right back. show you from that store. I was really, really good. Roy couldn't believe I walked out of the store. I told him how much yarn was there, and he said, "You didn't buy any?" I said, "Nope, they didn't have what I wanted. And I only want what I want because I'm already overloading us with yarn as it is. I have to use up and get rid of. I can't wait to deliver stuff at Boggy Creek because that means I'm getting rid of I'm getting rid of stuff out of my overstuffed camper and car. And hopefully I'll have a lot of things done by then. So I didn't buy any yarn there. We went to Hobby Lobby. I have a little bit of footage of Hobby Lobby. Again, I had to take the music out, so I'm going to just put my own music over top like I did in the previous video. But I did find what I was looking for. Exactly what my subscriber told me to get. It is, I'll show you after the video. So I'm going to put the second video in right here. So at Hobby Lobby, I purchased this yarn called, oh, that's the one that's attached. I purchased this yarn called Candy Stick Stash. Oh, I love it. It is bright and cheery. It really is going to brighten up my colors. But there are all the colors. There is, let me see. There is a darkish blue. Hold on, let me pull this out. Oh, here's like 2 strands so you can see it better. So there's this, pretty good, right? There's that color. There is a darkish green. Well, here's 2 different, this is like as dark as it gets. It's not as dark as this green, but good enough. There is yellow. Here we go. I'm just trying to find some on the yellow. And there is red. So then we have red. It's not as bright as this red, but it will work. So I put all the colors, and I'm so excited about it because, like I said, I've been wanting to do this and unable to find it. So if I put all these colors together, there is no cream, but the cream was just, you know, extra because there's 4 cabins. But if you put all these colors together and put this in the middle of it, it brightens it up. I love it. I totally love it. I'm so excited about it. So all these colors are Big Twist except for the cream, which is the Caron 1 pound. And this yarn is so much heavier than this yarn. It's just weird. It's like not really thicker, but it is heavier and way harder to work with. So let me tell you about the candy stick stuff. Candy Stick Stash. It's only 252 yards on this. So it's a little bit of a smaller skein. It's 5 ounces. It's 142 grams or 230 meters. And like I said, 252 yards. They are $4.99, and it was not 30% off week. And I bought them. I bought 3 of them because it's only 250 yards. I thought, I don't know how much I'm going to need. I think I will have still leftover of these colors after this blanket is done. This week's, Luck of the Draw 13 is done. And so I'm thinking that maybe I will put the rest into like a square blanket, like maybe do a, I haven't done the Nana June blanket yet, but I've been told it's very easy pattern, easy to remember. And so maybe I will use them up in a Nana June, but I'm hoping to be able to finish this Luck of the Draw and then use up the rest of the yarns. And so I will incorporate this in whatever pattern I decide to do. Oh, that doesn't need to be coming on. Whatever pattern I decide to do. Hold on just a moment. Okay, so, where was I? So I bought the yarn, even though it wasn't on sale, which I rarely ever buy yarn that's not only on sale, but on sale with a coupon or something. I had none of that. It was just buy the yarn. I needed to get it while I was there. I don't want to put it off any longer. As it is, as you can see, I'm starting over. I have measured, and for me to go from here to about here is about 40 inches. It's nice to know that I'm going to add an extra row, an extra little, but I'm starting the blanket over. I'm doing the Mama Swift's Rows of Kisses. I am using a 6mm hook, and I love how she starts this pattern. And I'm just going to do like 2 extra because I always tend to shorten. Things always tend to get shorter on me when I crochet. So I'm just going to do this and rip apart what I already had done. It's only 2 weeks worth, and it shouldn't really, I should get it done today and have my original pattern where I wasn't going to have a variegated in it. This is going to be my base color. So it's going to be in between all of them. So the first color I used was the cream, and then I went to the green. I am going to start at the green, which thank God I didn't weave in any ends. And I'm going to undo it here and just work it into my new blanket. So these 2 colors are going to be reversed. Maybe I'll just change the numbers on them. That way I know I won't get a duplicate. That's a good idea. I was thinking about that. If I just change the numbers on them, I write my numbers on the label of the ball band. If I just switch them, then I know I won't get a duplicate next week. That's what I'll do, because I'm switching the order in which I'm putting them on here, because I'm going to take it off from here and crochet it right into the new blanket. I did on these, I measured this to be about 4.5 inches, so 10 weeks at that, it's 45 inches. A rectangle has to be 30 to 40 wide, 40 to 50 long, so that's right in there. But this one was more like 4 inches, I think, just because this yarn is just heavier. It's thicker, it's more, but it's not thicker. When you're looking at them side by side, they look like they're the same thickness, but this yarn outweighs the big twist by a lot, and it's stiffer to work with. And it did make it just like a 1/2 inch. I think out of the 5 rows, I'm probably off by 1/4 to 1/2 inch in measurement. I don't care about that. But I think I'm going to do 2 rows of this and 4 rows of the main color. I think that's how I'm going to work it. We'll see how the yarn goes. Maybe I'll just continue to do 5 rows I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how far I get when I take that one apart. With the, you know, because you don't always crochet the same every single time. And at least I know I don't. So I'm just going to, it's going to be so pretty. I love these brighter colors up against the bold colors. I mean, these are a little brighter, but they have all the colors. You can see they have all the colors in there, and then some, which is fine because we love all the colors. And so I'm real excited about that. Then I also started my sweater for my granddaughter. And guys, I just don't know about the sweater. I crocheted on it last night, and I started it, and let me show you what I got. Now I am using a 5mm hook, which is what MJ, or no, it's Brianna K. I'm making this toasted wheat sweater by Brianna K, and I totally love it. This is, come on, turn around. This is the sweater. And it's got that weed stitch in the front, but not on the body and the arms. That's not a weed stitch. It's just a half double crochet back loop and front loops is what we're doing. And I did a swatch. It wasn't near what she said. And I went into Zoom and I asked the girls, I'm like, I don't understand why my swatch is way off from what she said, and I don't know how to fix it. And Billie, the crafty Floridian, said, just go with it, it'll be fine. I'm like, I don't know. She says, it will, trust me, trust me. I'm like, okay. So you make this in one piece. You start with one sleeve, and you make it flat, and then you crochet, I don't know how, when I get my sleeve long enough, what you do next. I don't know how but you do something. She's got instructions. There's a tutorial that helps you, and then there's the pattern. So I purchased the pattern. I think on a tutorial you can make the medium-sized sweater without getting the pattern. But if you want to different, and maybe you need the pattern too. I'm not sure. I haven't gone through the whole thing, but she does talk stitch counts in the tutorial for only the medium-sized sweater. And hey, a girl's gotta make money. I'm not begrudging that I had to buy the sweater. I mean, buy the pattern. But I'm making an extra large. So it doesn't fit, pardon me, it doesn't fit hardly around my arm. It's a fitted sleeve, and I am not an extra large. I am a 2X for sure. And I'm just concerned, and my granddaughter wears an extra large, but I think she's really more like a large, so I gotta keep telling myself that it's gonna not be as tight on her as it is on me. And the last time I tried to get into a 1X fitted sleeve something, the sleeve was very tight on me. So it's probably fine, and I should just follow Billie's advice and just go with it. I'm really liking, well, this is my favorite purple as far as color goes. And like, you can see the stitch definition. Not as good as you can in the cream one that Brianna is wearing, but it's good. I mean, when you got the light on there, you can see that stitch definition. I'm really liking it a lot. You start with the ribbing, and then she just talks you through how to do the rest of it. I am on the increase rows, and I am increasing until I get pretty much all the way up. So I made myself a chart of how many stitches go in each row, and I'm crossing them off row by row, which is making it way slower, but I know I'll be lost in a minute, because I'm not really good at counting rows. when you know, when you have to know how many rows you've done. I'm really terrible at knowing, is this the, you know, if you're not turning your work, I can count the rows, no problem. But when you turn the work and one row gets like smaller than the other row on one side, I have a hard time counting up 6 years into crocheting, and I still have a hard time with that. But anyway, that's fine. This is what my sweater is looking like so far. I am using Bernat Premium, and this is, I think, called Grape. Nope, I was wrong. It's called Deep Purple. I do really love the color. I had 4 plus a little skeins of this, and the pattern in worsted weight for the 1X calls for 1,500 yards. I do not have anything to play with, I am sure. My first, let's see, I joined the yarn here, so I got all of this on my extra. So we're crossing our fingers that we have enough to make the sweater, because that's all the yarn I have in this style, you know, in this color, in this blanket or sweater yarn. It's all I have is enough to make it. I hope it's enough to make it. If I get to the ribbing and the collar, which though the ribbing at the bottom and the collar, and I feel like I'm not going to have enough, I will add a lighter purple in for those. Maybe do something on the ribbing on the sleeve to add it in there too, but we'll see. We'll see. By the time I get halfway through, I'll know. I should have a really good idea if I'm going to have enough yarn. If not, I do have some options. The wheat stitch is just in this part of the sweater. So I do have a lavender, and maybe this would even be the better idea. Do lavender in the wheat stitch. Then that would probably guarantee me enough of the deep purple for the rest of the sweater. And then the wheat stitch will stand out more. She's 17, so I think she would be okay with that. I really want it just to be the lavender, but then I'm going to put little baby butterflies on it, and those will be in teal. I have a variegated that will look real pretty, I think, and maybe I'll put some of the lavender on there if I haven't used it otherwise. But she asked for a purple sweater with blue butterflies, so that's what I'm trying to give her. And oh God, I don't want to forget this. It's got my Bible on the back here. I struggle with garments only that I can make them, but they never fit. So, but I've never followed a complete measured pattern. I did, my first sweater I ever did, I made for Chloe, and I followed a pattern, you know, completely followed a pattern, but I completely followed the pattern, I think, and it was too big for her, and Amanda wore it. Then I have made them a couple of tops that actually fit them, but they were summer tops, and I think that it was like a halter neck. And I tried it on them every step of the way, both Amanda and Chloe. And I did make Avery a sweater that fit her perfect, and she loved it and wore it a lot. But now I'm sure she's outgrown it. She was like 8 or 9 at the time, and she's 11 now. But then I made that other sweater for Chloe that Ariana wore and looks gorgeous in. It was supposed to be a crop sweater, and I think it looked okay on Chloe, but she didn't like the sleeves weren't, I wanted them to be 3/4 length. They were a little bit longer than 3/4 length, and then she just felt like they were too short. She didn't like the length of it. She wanted it to be longer, and I couldn't do that, so because I didn't have any more of the yarn. I had 3 skeins of yarn and said I could make a crop sweater out of this for Chloe. But she would have liked the sweater, everything to be longer. And I said, well, you know, we can make the sweater part shorter and add to the arms. She didn't like that either. She didn't want her belly hanging out. Okay, you know, she's over 20 years old. She knows what she wants to do. So anyway, I thought Avery would fit in. It was her. This will fit Avery really well because Avery's shorter, and it fit Avery like it didn't. It like just came to the top of her jeans, just a little bit longer than the top of her jeans, and it fit her really good. And then Ari put it on and wore it off the shoulder because Ari is a beanpole, and she looks like a ballerina. Like she's got long legs and very thin, and so she put it on and it like bagging everywhere, which is how it's supposed to look, oversized, cropped. And she's taller than Avery, so it was shorter on her, but still met her jeans. But she wore it off the shoulder and kind of baggy, and it looked great on her. So they're sharing it, which is wonderful. And I want this sweater to actually fit. So cross your fingers up for me. And I don't want to run out of yarn. I got this yarn at Ollie's on clearance. You know, other yarns on clearance, so I don't think they make the color anymore or something. Because it was at Ollie's. So cross your fingers with me on that one. So that's what my yarny mischief has been as of late. I'm real excited to work on this. I have a couple of other things that I have been, I got the yarn out of my yarn stash in the car. Am I doing this wrong? You are, oh, you dummy. See, this is why I don't YouTube and crochet at the same time. I'm not as good as Lynanne. Oh no, I'm doing that right. Lynanne and Nancy can easily chat and talk to you guys and crochet at the same time. I think I'm just not that good. I thought I was backwards, but I'm not backwards. I'm fine. Anyway, I have one more project that, well, I pulled out of the car because that's where most of my yarn stash is. I pulled out my Grafgan, and I can't wait to get started on that. Again, get restarted on that. And I pulled out another project that I haven't started yet, but I want to make amigurumi alligators, little ones, backpack buddy size. So I've been looking, but I want it to be no-sew. I don't know. I have those little, I did bring with me even those books of the backpack buddies that I was making. I was making a lot of them last year from those crochet miniature books, and I don't know if there's an alligator in one of those. There might be, but they're definitely not no-sew, and I really would like to find a no-sew alligator pattern, and I think I did when I was kind of scrolling and dozing last night. So I want to try that pattern and see how it works. And make a couple of alligator like zipper pull kind of things, because our camper, this camper is an alliance, and I was told that alliance owners trade alligators like Jeep owners do with rubber ducks, and I thought, oh well, that would be fun. I would like to crochet some, and I've been saying that since we went in Tennessee last winter. Was the first campground we stayed in was in Tennessee, and one of the ladies that worked in the office owns an alliance, and she's the one that told me about that. And I'm like, I need to learn to make some of those. Well, here it is, November now. Still haven't made one, but I did take all of that yarn that I was making the backpack buddies with, and I left it in storage, except for colors to make an alligator. I saved out some greens and tans and whites and black, and I do have safety eyes here, and I saved out some polyurethane or polyfill so that I can make an alligator or two. I have everything I need. And now maybe I've even found the pattern. So hopefully maybe I'll start one of those this week too. But I want to get my luck of the draw caught back up. And I definitely have to work on that sweater a little bit every day. When I get it about halfway, I think I'll know if I'm going to have enough yarn. If not, then I have to make some decisions. And I'm not sure that I like the stitch pattern. I love the way it looks. I just don't know that I like doing the stitch pattern that is not the wheat stitch, but the rest of the sweater. I've done, I don't know, maybe 15 rows of it now, and I'm not sure. Mine isn't looking as good as hers did. I don't know if I'm not actually putting the right stitches always in the right place, because you do one stitch and the next row you do the opposite stitch on top, and I don't think I've always been doing that correctly. But it's got a lot of texture and it's that dark color. For me, it's hard to tell. If I made a mistake, I can't tell that I did. But the whole thing might just be a mistake, and because it's all wrong, you can't, there's no, which might work well for me. But, the whole thing is done wrong, but because the whole thing is done wrong, it's done the same. And so then it's okay. I think that's what I'm looking at right now. But I could be wrong. So with this pattern, you have your setup row, and then you have to do one more row. And I'm debating if I should do, well, you really can't count the chain row because it's a chain and it doesn't add anything. So yeah, I got to do 2 rows of this color plus that chain thing, and then I'll be in the right spot for it, I'm pretty sure. But I really love this. Look at how pretty that is. And you put all those other solids up against there, that's going to be really nice, don't you think? Do you think? I think. The one thing that worries me is this yarn has a little bit of a shine to it, but some colors more than others. Camera doesn't show it, but like this tealy blue has a shine to it. Just this golden color here has a little bit of a shine to it, more so than the other colors, but this yarn has more of a shine than the big twist by a lot. But some of these colors, they get in the light and they get a shine to them. This magenta, dark magenta color gets a shine in it. So we'll know soon. I have one more row after this, and then I'm going to start adding the green. So stay tuned in the next video and you'll see what that looks like, I'm sure, because I will hopefully have it done and all back up to date today, even though I haven't worked on my sweater yet today. So we'll see how far I get. I'm not going to stress myself, but I do want to put in some time on the sweater every day to make sure that I get it done in time to ship for Christmas, because it will be a Christmas present for my granddaughter. Okay, well, that's what I got for you. Oh, now my phone's going to ring. That's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching and liking and sharing and subscribing and all of those things that YouTube loves. It helps my channel out quite a bit. I enjoy speaking, chatting with you, and trying to crochet with you. It's getting there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.